Welcome to Puzzle with Emilia, that's me. And today we're going to do a 500-piece puzzle in half an hour. And the chosen puzzle for this challenge is Favorite Sweets by Trefl. And this puzzle was actually suggested by one of you, so finally I'm going to do it. But I think everybody has now the question that how on earth are we going to do 500-piece puzzle in half an hour? And if you have followed my journey for a little bit longer, you probably know that my best ever first attempt puzzle time was 39 minutes. And also the best time I've gotten for 500 pieces when I was doing a second time a puzzle was 34 minutes. So we gotta work on a miracle here today. As you can see, this is a new puzzle, unopened bag. Haven't done this before, haven't practiced before filming this video. But the honest truth is that most likely I have to do this multiple times. We're gonna see how the first time goes. Maybe I'll do some miracle already on that. And then see what could I do better if I don't reach the half an hour. And see if I can actually reach by good analyzing and executing new ways to do this, if we can get to that half an hour. And after that, we're gonna discuss on 3 whys why you should also do puzzles multiple times, same puzzle multiple times as a part of your speed puzzling practice. What kind of skills are involved in that? Why does it differentiate from just doing new puzzles? What skills can you learn from that? What can you learn about yourself as a speed puzzler? And most importantly, how it can make you a faster speed puzzler. Let's go for the first round of trying to do this in a half an hour. And now you can make your guess. It's going to be my first time? Is it going to be my second try? Is it going to be my third try? Or will I just fail miserably completely? Let's go. Okay, the basic preparations. Opening the bag before putting the timer. So if I have to do this again, all the times are pretty much the comparable. Okay, first try. I mean, this is nerve-wracking. I was identifying some parts that might be like easy. It may not show in the video perfectly, but there's like those bright yellow areas that are different from the lighter yellow. And also kind of like those lollipops that are also kind of on the ice cream on the top right corner. So I was kind of starting with those. Also with the pink. The brighter pink, but I think my mistake was that I didn't identify enough. I kind of identified what I'm gonna start with, and that will eventually lead, if you don't really look at the reference image that much, that you're gonna get stuck into this moment and you're like, oh, what's next? So for example, the ice cream on the top left corner would have been very easy to identify. It has this kind of dripping chocolate sauce or something, and it's literally like the only black thing in this whole image, and also the white big ice cream balls could have been very easy. So yeah, and here you can see this is not gonna be done in half an hour. We're already over that, so I have to do this again. But let's see what is actually my final time, so to see kind of like what are we working with, because I think there's also kind of like limit how much can you take of your time, but definitely like I had issue with identifying. Also, for example, that yellow area on the ice cream section that I did before, I didn't like realize how big of an area is that, so that is also my issue, that I don't understand. Like I can see it in the reference image that okay, these are the sizes, but then I don't realize how many pieces it actually is. But anyway, my first try time was 48 minutes, and 38 seconds. So that is not really good news for this little challenge of mine. And then also, like, I was having a really hard time to kind of get into this kind of like a competition mode. Like, I don't want to say that I'm slow puzzling because I'm definitely not. But I know that when I finish the first try and also the second try that I'm failing again, by the way. I don't have, like, I'm not exhausted, I don't have heavy breathing, I'm not shaking, which to me is like an indicator that, okay, I didn't try, I could do better. And also with this puzzle, I usually think Trefl is high quality. Oh my god, third time. But it was impossible to lift the pieces, and sometimes I kind of like, I accidentally pushed something too much and it crashed the whole thing that I've already done. So I had to do like a lot of fixing here. And that was definitely something I needed to kind of like learn for the next time, that with these pieces I need to be very careful because they break. And every time you do something outside of the edges, you have to lift it over, it most likely gonna break. So I needed to kind of like consider that and try to do more stuff already like inside. But yeah, actually at this point I already also put my shoes on because my feet were hurting, so I had my exercise shoes on now on. I can't believe we're on a fourth try here. At this point I started doing the edges first. Obviously I'm not very good finding all the edges, so it's kind of like missing some. And also you can see here that I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later after we get this done. But I do this puzzle every time in a very similar way, same order. And it's kind of like, what if something is wrong with my order? What if some other order would be faster? So that might be a mistake. We're going for the fifth try. Okay, at this point, obviously, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, guys, you have to watch this. Like, obviously, this is just ridiculous. So I have this issue that when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. But sometimes, of course, like, I cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the age of 30 and then just expect that that's gonna happen because I said so. So I need to really know when to stop. Because this is ridiculous now. This is seriously getting ridiculous. I wish I would have told my team members that I'm trying to do this, so I could have just keep it in my tiny little mind, never told anybody. But this round I actually tried different thing. I tried to short the pieces in the very beginning a little bit. You probably missed it, this is going so fast, but I just don't want to bore you guys. That didn't work out. This is actually... So basically my first time was the slowest, then the second time was a bit faster, then third time I was slower than my third time. Then I did, so my time so far is 39, 31, 32, sorry, let's start again. So this seventh time I didn't short the edges at all. But anyway, my times from the first, I'm just telling 2 minutes. First time 48, second time 41, third time 42, fourth time 37, fifth time 35, then 37, 39, and this eighth time is actually going to be my best time, but still not there. And I was, at this point I spent like almost 6 hours, 8 hours doing puzzle. I was hurting so bad, like, and this was my 9th try, and this I actually gave up in the middle. I gave up. I was like, I'm done. I've been doing this almost 12 hours, like, I'm done. I felt like I'm gonna pass out. I was just looking at the pieces like, like, no, like, this is it. I'm just gonna figure out some other catchy title, like half an hour-ish or something. I'm just gonna go with the 33. But yeah, then this morning I was like, nope, nope. No, I've spent so much time on this, I have to do this. This is my 10th try. This is ridiculous. But like, I was like, this challenge, even though I figured it out myself, like, you got the wrong gal, I'm gonna do this. But once again, we're over 30. I can't do this. My husband has some opinions about this challenge, but let's not go to that. Like, I just keep going. I keep doing. At this point, I swear to God, I can memorize this whole puzzle. I was dreaming about puzzles the whole night. I was like doing this puzzle in my dreams, which is usually not a very healthy thing. Still doing it the same way. Edges first, then the bright yellow, the lollipops, the blue ice cream place, then kind of around the corners, and then the second last is this area, and then the middle part last. But look at the time. Look at the time. We are at 25. This is going to be touch and go. And I promised myself this 11th time is the last time because I really have to work. Like, I cannot take 2 days off. I still need to edit this video. I want to post it today because I always post on Thursday. And I was like, this was before like midday. So I was like, I'll just try to do 2 more time before lunch break. And then I really have to work. Then I still have to edit this video. At this point, I wasn't even knowledgeable at the time. I don't think it shows here, but I did lift my head for a moment and I realized that I'm like very close. I'm like, oh my God, like, come on. Like, if you don't do it now, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. Like, you have spent so much time on this. Like, come on, keep. And that's like when you panic and something doesn't go, it's like the worst feeling ever. It's like, come on, you can do it. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. I did it. I don't have a microphone. So my hand is shaking. I can't believe this. I had to stop for a second to check. What time was it? This is 11th time I did this. So apparently 11th time is the charm. But this was extreme. Like, do not try at home. This has like literally no purpose, but at least I know now that physically I can do something under 30 minutes. So I tried 9 times yesterday. And this was my 2nd time this morning. Good night's sleep apparently did something at least. Holy guacamole. I know it's 11 times, so this is not like, oh my God, I'm one of the fastest puzzlers, but this is like crazy to me that I can just, know that I can physically do this. Wow, I'm just... This made my day because yesterday I was so devastated. I was devastated after I started filming and puzzling and stuff for this video like 9 a.m. or so, and I stopped like after 7 p.m. I just tried, couldn't make it, not even like close. So now I'm like, this made everything worth it. Like, I didn't do this for nothing. And I don't have to lie on my clickbait title that I did something in less than half an hour. Oh my God, this is fabulous. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, I'm so happy with this time. You have no idea. I promised to talk about why it can be an important practice for your speed puzzling to do the same puzzle multiple times. So now I would like to point out before I start talking that I don't mean it doing it my way, doing it 11 times in like 24 hours. So please ignore this. This is not the style I'm gonna be talking about. I've said on my other tips videos that it's important to film yourself and analyze what you're doing wrong or what you could do better and what you're already doing great. So that's kind of like a requirement for the tip that I'm giving now. So, doing a puzzle multiple times. And always remember there's multiple factors, so I may not be able to explain all of them, but there seems to be people who do the same puzzle for the second time and they're pretty much the same time. There's people who are significantly faster, and then there's people who are even slower for the second time. So when you do a puzzle for the second time, before that you should take a look at your own video, analyze what could you done differently, and then implement it when you do it the next time. But here's the thing, most of us, especially me, I can see clearly on the videos what am I doing wrong, and then I do the same puzzle again and I repeat those issues. So my issue is not that I'm not able to analyze myself. That is also a skill that you may need to practice, or you may be able to see very well what is going wrong or what's going well. If you have actually issue with this part, then you should go and talk with your fellow puzzlers, maybe some experienced puzzlers, to help you see what is going on in the video when you're making a puzzle. But if you're already able to pinpoint the good things, the challenges, then you should do the puzzle for the second time and try to implement the things that you made a mistake with. However, as said, I had this problem for so long that I used to be pretty much slower on my second time. And why is it? Well, of course, different time, tardiness level, all these little things affect. But for me, it was that I knew what I was doing wrong and I still keep doing the same mistakes. So my issue was actually that I was not able to execute my new ways of doing the puzzle. But you don't really know this if you just do, let's say you analyze your videos and then you do a completely different video. A completely different puzzle, and then you look at that video and you're like, okay, well you kind of get the feeling that, because I analyzed myself, I know what I'm doing well, so I must have avoided these mistakes. But there's a chance that you're like me and you're actually just repeating the mistakes even though you are aware of them. So it's very important to know whether this is the situation or not. Especially if you've done puzzles for a long time, there might be a thing that you've been doing them for years. Let's say you're doing puzzles for 20 years. It's really hard to break if you have some kind of habit that it's not working for your benefit. So you literally need to kind of like explode the whole thing. And also if you do a puzzle multiple times, even if you don't have this issue that you repeat the mistakes, but let's say you repeat now mistakes with this specific puzzle, and you may want to take a break, let's say a week, even a month, and put the notes down of your first analyzed video. And then when you do it second time after the month or so, take a look at your notes beforehand. So hopefully your brain and this time has forgot how did you do it the first time. And you can actually do it well, because now you could see when I was doing this, I did it pretty much the same way all the time. I did try some different ways, different tricks, but I don't know if I would have been actually able to do this. Let's say I did it first time and then I waited for a month and then for the second time. Maybe I have already reached that like 30 minutes on my second time with some time between. A good example of this is the I Love Birds puzzle that I did for my first time in 54 minutes, and I did it like 2 months after and I was like 34 minutes. You may also want to consider that maybe you have an excellent memory. So those are usually the people who do specific puzzles very fast for the second time, especially if they're people who tend to look at the pieces, not the image. But when they have done it once, they also remember the image quite well and they're doing it very well for the second time. But obviously not all of us has a great memory, and there's also puzzles that they're not very memorable in a way when it comes to the pieces, so it doesn't really help you. And then you may also find some fault is that you cannot do anything. For example, I just cannot see the dimensions and proportions. I have really hard time attaching my puzzle islands. I've said this multiple times, I keep saying it. It wasn't that much of an issue with this puzzle because the sections are so clear. But that's something I've seen in my videos when I analyze them. Puzzles that I've done year ago, that was average of 2 hours, and now that I do puzzles under an hour, I still have the same exact issue. And it also shows, this is kind of like a double checking, it also shows when I do not this puzzle but other puzzles for the second time, I fail with this, and it seems like it might be something like not like a disease or something, but you know, some kind of neurological, that my brain just doesn't see the concept very well. So that's at that point, knowing that, I also need to work, okay, like what are my strengths? Because I don't think this is specifically that easy to fix. Of course, if you have some practices that you could separate that skill, please let me know, because I haven't been able to come up with anything. And honestly, I also have the same issue with parking a car. I cannot see like how far things are, and it's not about my side, it just... And then of course the second thing why you should do a same puzzle multiple times, people consider this cheating. Technically somehow a little bit you're cheating yourself, like I did with this. But for example, if there's a competition coming and you know that they use published puzzles, like those who are already on the market, so even I'm planning that before the Worlds or so, I will do every Ravensburger 500 piece puzzle I own, just to highlight, because I know I will do it faster most likely for the second time. So then I am even like hiring the chance that if I get lucky and one of the puzzles actually comes up in the competition, I should be able to do a crazy good time with it. But then of course when we go to the final and there's unpublished puzzle, then the time difference is going to be major. So it's kind of like cheating yourself, but it may also give you the motivation and boost. And third thing, a little bit related to this, but obviously doing a puzzle so many times, like I did this in under half an hour, it gives you the motivation, it gives you the clarity that, okay, I'm physically able to do this fast, a puzzle, even though the time is not really that relevant for your development. And also a little bit to show off to your competitors. And somebody may say this is a little bit like a B move. But I don't think it has malicious intent. It's not supposed to crash somebody's confidence. It's just to boost your own confidence. And I mean, it's part of the sport in a way. I think everybody who is watching this can understand that I don't do puzzles now magically everything in half an hour. This was quite crazy. I'm still more like that 50-ish, but still it gives a little bit in the back of your mind, like you're still like, ooh, that gal is like fast. So it does have, in the competition, it may have some kind of mental side of it. Of course, if you are not, let's say you don't go to a competition, you are not active on social media, you're not tracking your times anywhere where other people can see it, then it's kind of like pointless. But yeah, I just wanted to be open and transparent with this, because I do have a sports background, and this is thing that we consider. As said, it has no malicious intent. It's not meant to be rude, but it does have a point that it's proven psychology that it does affect your competitors. So yeah, but that's basically it. But yeah, as said, this was extreme. So what I would recommend is to do a puzzle maybe 2-3 times, not all of your puzzles, but just as a practice, and analyze your videos and see what you can find from there. It might be that you are able to analyze, you see what you do wrong, you do it well, and you fix kind of like your mistake for the second time, then you know, that's good. If you can't find anything from your videos, then you know, you may want to practice your analyzing. If you analyze well, but you're not able to execute your new ways of doing, then you know that might be an issue. So it will give you insights, because being aware of what you're good at, what you're not, is kind of like the key of how you can actually develop and become a better speed puzzler. But anyway, this was kind of like, I was supposed to post today the video where I organize all my puzzles. I promise, it's coming next week. the project is kind of like in the midway. So this was kind of like a crazy idea I literally got yesterday, and then I was like, yeah, let's execute this. But as said, I am really happy because I was devastated yesterday that I spent my whole day. I mean, I got work to do. I own a company, so this was like ridiculous. But got it, done it, and I have nothing else to add. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.